Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about Loki Series 2, Episode 1, and obviously I've got my Loki shirt on just for this occasion. So, Loki Series 1, I wasn't a massive fan of, to be honest. I thought it was kind of boring, very dull, and didn't really do much for the MCU. It was very separated from everything else. The end of the series, Loki and Sylvie meet He Who Remains, sort of the sort of different iteration of Kang, where he does say that if you were to kill me, you will see lots of me, and so I will see you soon. So the beginning of series 2, Sylvie is nowhere to be found. Loki has found himself back in the TVA, and he's realised that no one knows who he is. It takes a few minutes for him to kind of understand and for everyone else to understand what's happening, and he is what they call time slipping. So he's going between the future and the past and the present, slipping between all three time streams. And he wants to know how to stop it. So he finally is able to get back to during the times that he's at the present with Morbius. They go and see this new character, Obi, who explains how he knows what's going on, he's got the right machine to do it. And I have to admit, the way that they did this particular scene in this episode, I thought was actually very funny and very good. Loki slips back in time to meet Obi for the second time, despite it being in the past, and explains everything that's going on and explains to him asks him, what do we need to fix this? Obi says, oh, this is what we need, this is what we need. So he says, like, can you hang on to this for another 400 or so years, just until we come back? Skips back to the present, and he's like, oh yeah, of course I've got this. Yeah, I've been hanging on to it ever since. That was quite funny, I have to admit. And Obi, the character, I really hope we get to see more of throughout this series, because he very fun. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a fun character. There's someone that is really just enjoying themselves within a role, and it's nice to see that within a Marvel property. But anyway, he tells Loki, I'm not entirely sure if he needs to prune or pull all of his potential variants from every other timeline to stop him from time slipping. Now, if it is prune, then it would mean he'd kill them. If it is pull, then I'm pretty sure we saw in the first series that if you've got multiple people within one timeline, they need to be dealt with, killed. So either way, it sounds like he's having to potentially go and kill all of his variants, but that I'm not entirely sure on. And that seemed to be a running theme throughout this first episode. I'm not entirely sure of what's happening. I'm not entirely sure of what they want moving forward, other than the fact that Loki wants to stop time slipping. It just seems poorly written from that fact that we don't have a driving force. We don't have an end goal. We don't know what we're actually wanting to come out of this. And that to me just summarizes the MCU from phase 4 onwards. You know, after phase 3, I'm gonna give Spider-Man, No Way Home, I'm gonna give that to phase 3, despite that being like one of the first of phase 4. But after that point, there doesn't seem to be any direction of the MCU. They're not entirely sure where they want to go. They don't have any kind of big bad. There's no particular structure about anything. And when you drill it down into each different series, each different episodes, it doesn't help, because there seems to be so much filler. So Loki Series 2, Episode 1, there's no clear direction. There's a lot of it that's filler, and I just got lost for most of it. And because of that, I was just bored. Like I said, Obi was a fantastic character. Really, really good. But other than that, everyone else just seems to be going through the motions. And it's a shame, because especially when you have a character as Loki God, when did we first see Loki? He was first seen in the original Thor. I can't even remember when that was. But you're going back more than 10 years, and you have a character who was very well liked for his menacing characteristics, and how he's changed across that time. And he seems... Not only does he seem downtrodden, which of course he was beaten by the Avengers in the Avengers, and there's a lot of stuff that's happened to him, but he doesn't seem as menacing as he was. He does seem like if you originally had this kind of harsh dog that could kill anything, he's now like a tiny little puppy. And it's a shame when characters are just have that kind of downward trajectory. Who knows about Sylvie? She started off as a bit of a badass, but don't know what's going to be happening with her. And obviously, potentially, if Loki needs to prune or pull all of his variants from the timelines, then she potentially could die. But it wasn't the best television. It was almost 50 minutes of just boredom for me, and I didn't like to be in this position with Marvel. I didn't want to be in this position, and I just feel bored by a lot of their films and TV series now. I just don't really care, and it's a real shame. Like I said, there is the only one positive thing from this TV series was Obi. He was fun, he was funny, and he seemed to be the thing that pulled everything together. I really hope more from episode 2, but I'm not even too sure if I'm going to be bothered with it. But guys, if you have watched series 2 of Loki, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, because it really does help me out, and I'll see you all in the next video.